Okay, so here's the previous drawer. One thing I do want to keep in here is my one and only face primer. This is the Glow Recipe Hue Drops, and I've actually been using this a ton lately, so I'm just going to keep it in here for a primer if I want it. Then these two foundations, I think I will go ahead and take both of these out. I really loved this one. This is the Jones Road Just Enough Tinted Moisturizer. This is gorgeous. To me, this is a better version of the What the Foundation. It's kind of what I wanted that to be. The What the Foundation is the one that comes in the jar. I loved the way that looked on my skin, but it was really gritty, and I just couldn't get past that. This is not gritty at all, but it has that same beautiful wax doll kind of finish that the What the Foundation would give. I did wear the Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Foundation quite a few times as well, and I've concluded that this is a foundation I can work with. It's not my favorite, but I will continue working with it. It's very dewy, but at the same time, it doesn't always sit very well on the skin. Like, it can kind of just look heavy and makeup-y. I really like it over the Glow Recipe Hue Drops, and I only like it applied with a combo of my fingers and then a sponge. So that is what I've gathered about this, but I'll keep it in my collection. It'll probably end up being something that I like mix with other things, but I will keep it and eventually pan it. The concealer that I'm using every single day is the Tarte Shape Tape Ultra Creamy. This is in my project pan. This mini is never ending, so this will continue to be my everyday concealer. And I also want to start using this as a foundation to try and hopefully use it up a little bit faster. Then this is my NYX Pro Fix Stick, the little bit that I decanted out of the bottom. It was broken, so I dug everything out of the bottom and then stuck the rest of the stick back down. So I am still working on this. I've been using this every single day. I can't believe there's still more left in here, but that is my color corrector. Then moving over here to this side, my go-to powder has been the e.l.f. Halo Glow in Light, and there is actually really not much left in here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's about to here. I actually think I will probably finish this before the end of 2025, and I'm trying to finish this because I want to use this container for my Tower 28 pink powder that I want to crush up and put in here. So this is another thing that will stay in here, and I'll keep working on it. I actually surprised myself with how much I ended up using this. I put this in my last Shop My Stash rotation because it was one of my least used bronzers, and now it's one of my most used bronzers. It's the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Bronzer in Fair. And actually, since this is the only contour shade I have, I think I'll go ahead and keep this in because I do find myself wanting to contour more in the fall and winter. I really start leaning into like more glam makeup looks, and this is perfect for that, so I am going to keep that in for another rotation. Of course, my Fenty bronzer will stay in. This is in my project pan. The Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush bronzer, this is also in the shade Fair. Huge pan in here. I actually think I want to try to use this up next year. So I'm trying to decide, I think I'll go ahead and leave this in as well. This actually continues to be my least used bronzer of the year. Not because I don't love it, but I've been working on my Fenty bronzer so much that this one's kind of fallen by the wayside, and it is my fairest bronzer, so I think it makes sense to keep in the colder months when I'm not going for like quite such bronzy makeup looks. So again, I'm keeping this in. Wow, I really haven't taken much out of this drawer yet, but don't worry, I will. Another thing that's going to stay in is my Minori Cream Blush in Scarlet, which is also in my project pan. This I will take out. This is the Patrick Ta Blush Duo and Not Too Much. This is definitely looking more loved than it was, so that is good to see. I especially love the shade of that cream. It's just the perfect nude rosy color. This blush has been in here the last two rotations, the NYX Sweet Cheeks blush in Nude Tude. Love this for like a warm taupe blush. It's gorgeous, especially in the fall, but I think I will go ahead and swap this out for something else, give something else a chance. Same with this Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand in the shade Pillow Talk. This has also been in for the last two rotations, so glad to have gotten a little bit more use on that as well. Also used this so much. This is the Nabla Skin Glazing Highlighter in Privilege. Got a ton of use on this. This is now by far my most used highlighter in my collection this year, so I'll switch this out for something else as well. I actually think I will leave these in. These are kind of a multi-use product. These are the Axiology Balmies in the shades Cinnamon and Champagne. I just think these generally look like really festive colors, and I'm kind of gonna have the theme of this drawer be holiday makeup, so I'm gonna leave this in for yet another rotation. Then in this container I have lippies and then like eyeshadows, eyeliners. This one is in my project pan. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize in Rose Gold. I use this as an eyeshadow base almost every day. The Flower Beauty Chrome Crush Pressed Pigment in Quartz. This is a beautiful glittery topper. Love this. I am going to put it back and pull something new in its place, but absolutely love this. I love this Hard Candy eyeshadow stick in Stoned. It's this really cool toned gray taupe. I use this in a number of ways, both as an all-over one and done eyeshadow, as a liner, as a base for eyeshadow looks, so really big fan of this, but I'm going to put that away. These two brown eyeliners I use all the time. The Tower 28 one liner in Draw Me. This is a fantastic multi-use stick. I've actually used it a couple of times on the lips as well, for a really deep vampy brown, and that was so much fun. And then the Fenty Fly Liner in Big Truffle is a nice felt tip brown liquid liner. I'm gonna actually move these into my makeup organizer because I think they kind of go along with like my mascara. They're just things I use so often that it makes sense to have them over here. Then I also had the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in Overdrive, which is this beautiful metallic green color. It's like a deep evergreen shade. I want to keep this in for the holidays. I actually love this color. It's kind of like the color of a Christmas tree. I definitely get the most use out of this around the holidays. So I think I'll just go ahead and actually add that in with my eyeliners there. Then I believe all the rest of this is lip products. So starting with lip liners. I've been playing with this Sachu lip liner stain in Hazel, and I think I've finally gotten the hang of it. I remember in my last everyday makeup drawer video, I was saying I wasn't sure about this. I felt like I always ended up with like way too thick of a line, just like a really stark, thick line around my lips. Don't love the look of that. So I've been experimenting with doing like as thin of a line as possible and then only leaving it on for like a minute. So it just ends up giving me this like really nice, subtle, but still defined lip line. And I actually really like it that way. So I will be keeping this. I am going to take it out of my everyday makeup drawer though to make room for something else. But yeah, sometimes with products like this, I don't know, you just kind of have to like keep giving them chances to eventually figure out the best way to use them. These Singe Beauty Evocative Lip Liners, I have been wearing non-stop. I have the shades Ambitious Ash and Optimistic Oak. Ambitious Ash is a really cool gray taupe, and then Optimistic Oak is like a light milk chocolate brown. I really like pairing Ambitious Ash with like a warmer, peachier lipstick or tinted lip balm. Like this, I ended up pairing a lot with the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip Plump in White Peach, which is like a really light milky peach. Also really liked it with the Estate Cream of the Cream lipstick in Fluffy. This is a more like warm caramel nude. I find that type of combo really flattering. I think I'm going to keep Optimistic Oak in here, but put Ambitious Ash away because I've just used this so much. I need to give some of my other lip liners a chance. Also had in here the e.l.f. Cream Glide lip liner in Pinky Swear. This is a little pinker than what I usually wear, but it was fun. I definitely enjoyed it. Also had these two Click Up lip gloss sticks, the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip Plump in White Peach, love that one, and the e.l.f. Pout Clout in the shade Toasted, which is kind of a warm pumpkin-y nude. Both of those were great for fall. I'm going to put them both away. I didn't end up using this at all this rotation. This is the Undefined Beauty R&R Sun Glaze. It's a tinted mineral lip SPF, and this is in the shade Unbothered Pink. It's almost a purple. I feel like this just isn't quite the color I've been going for recently, so I'm going to take this one out. The Bare Minerals Lip Oil in Spark. I did use this a few more times, and I kind of, it's growing on me. It definitely has the texture of a true oil. It's not like, you know, some oils actually just feel like a gloss. This does feel thin like an oil, but it does feel really nice and hydrating on the lips. My main complaint is that I just wish it were a little bit more pigmented. It pretty much goes on clear with just like the slightest red tint. But I actually really enjoyed this paired with the Sachu lip liner stain in Hazel. That was a really nice fall combo. This is a tinted lip balm from Jones Road in the shade Nude Mauve. This is just the perfect My Lips But Better tinted balm. Love this stuff. There's no like scent or taste to it either. I also love this lipstick from Estate. This is their Cream of the Cream lipstick in the shade Fluffy. Just a great light warm nude. It's like almost concealer lips, but not quite that light on me. And it feels really comfortable, very hydrating, almost feels more like a tinted lip balm. So since my No Pan Left Behind project just finished, I am actually going to be choosing palettes in this video. So this is what's in here right now. I have my Norvina palette because one of those shades is in my project pan. I also have my Urban Decay Stone Vibes palette in here because I'm trying to hit pan on one of those shades. And then this is a new to me palette, the ColourPop Going Coconuts. I have actually used this kind of a lot since I got it. I definitely feel like I have finished testing it. So I'm going to take it out of my everyday makeup drawer, but both of these will stay in and I'll probably pick a few more palettes to add in here. Alright, so this is what's staying in here, this is what's going back, and now let's pick some new items to fill this drawer back up. So for foundation, I do want to bring back out my e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation. This is my highest coverage foundation, and it's perfect for those more full face glam makeup looks that I love to do this time of year. And I think I'll also do something more sheer coverage. Let's do the NYX Buttermelt Glaze. Love this, I feel like I haven't used it in a while. So I think those will be my two base options, along with the Tarte Shape Tape Creamy Concealer, which I'll try to use as a foundation. And just in case I finish that Tarte concealer or I want another like lighter coverage concealer in the meantime, I'm gonna also grab my Typology Serum Concealer. This is a really nice concealer. It reminds me a lot of the NYX Bare With Me Concealer Serum. It's also very thin, lightweight, not super high coverage. I would say it's like light coverage, but nice for lighter makeup days. I have my usage tracker spreadsheet pulled up, really trying to kind of even out uses on things. If I'm seeing anything in a category that, especially if it hasn't gotten even 10 uses yet this year, I'm prioritizing those things. So looking at my bronzers, I definitely haven't used my Glossier Cloud Paint bronzer in sale very much this year. So far I've only used it 9 times, but this is one of my favorite bronzers and it is a little bit of a lighter shade, which is perfect for the winter when I am definitely at my fairest. Already have the e.l.f., Fenty, and Charlotte Tilbury bronzers in there, so I think I will cap it there for bronzers. For blush, I do remember in one of my recent videos I was saying that I wanted to make a mental note to put my Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk matte blush wand in my next everyday makeup drawer rotation. Another thing I just really haven't used enough, but I really like it, and it's a great color for like the fall and winter. It's kind of one of those shades that'll go with any look. This one right here has also not gotten enough use this year. This is the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blush in Peach Perfect. Nice, really light, warm peach shade. And I'm thinking if I want something that's a little bit warmer but not quite so red like the Minori Cream Blush, this would be perfect to have in here. I also just really want this one in there. Is this the one? Yeah. Kaleidos Pearl Bliss. I just love this. Very, very light taupey brown blush. And I just think it's gorgeous for the fall and winter. So I'm going to add that in for something a little bit more neutral. So I have 2 liquid blushes, a cream, and a powder, a nice range of shades. And then I also have that Axiology Cinnamon Balmy if I want another option. So that I think should be good for blush. And I think the highlighter I want is this one. This is the Flower Nose highlighter in the shade Eros' Fable. Nice, really soft, pinky toned, pearly highlight. Just gorgeous. I think this will go perfectly with any look I do. And then if I want something warmer, I also have that Champagne Balmy from Axiology. Alright, so I think that's everything I want from this drawer. Moving on down. I do want to pick out a couple of single shadows, maybe a shadow stick. Looks like of all my single shadows, the Merit Solo Shadow in Studio has not gotten very much use yet this year. A matte rosy beige, which you know I love. I have heard that these are prone to drying out. I don't think mine has yet, but if it does, I do have some Inglot Duraline I'll probably add into it. But this will be nice for a matte shadow base or like a quick one and done look. And then also my ColourPop Super Shock shadow in a little quirky. This I've only used a couple times this year. That is a really nice bronzy shade with silver glitter. This is a nice one and done shadow too. And then just one more. The e.l.f. Fine as Fleck glitter shadow in White Hot. This is just such a pretty light shimmery topper, kind of makes me think of snow, which apparently we are supposed to be getting a lot of this year, so I think this will be fun too. I also think that these two together would make a really nice, quick eyeshadow combo. And then one more eyeliner I want to pull in is this one from NYX. This is another of their Epic Wear liner sticks in the shade Chill Blue, which I think would be fun for like a snowy winter look as well. Also another thing I've hardly used this year, so let's roll that in. Alright, excited for the lip category. One lip product I know I'm going to roll in is my red. This is the Revolution Lip Allure in the shade Vibe Red. Just a super bright, fun red shade. I Can't wait to do like a holiday look with that. And then for a nude, I'm gonna pull in my BK Beauty lipstick in Grace. This is a nice light cool toned nude. Beautiful shade. And for more of a tinted balm, let's pull in this one from Jones Road. This is their lippy stick in the shade Me. Just another nice like sheer mauve shade. In the lip liner category, for a red liner, I really love this Essence Soft and Precise lip pencil in the shade Happy. I actually love a really soft, light red lip liner with a rich, bold red lipstick, and so I'm thinking this will be the combo I do when I want a red. Okay, first of all, Bee's here. She says hello, and she's purring. To go with that nude BK Beauty lipstick, I'm going to grab this Jones Road lip pencil in Mauve. Another nice, really soft, light nude shade for something kind of fun and crazy. Another thing that I haven't used very much this year is the NYX lip pencil in the shade Pale Pink. This is a really cool toned, almost lilac pink, and I'm thinking this will be fun for some cool, like, snowy winter looks. Then in the lip gloss category, here's one that I've been kind of waiting for the holidays to roll in. This is the Revolution Gloss Stick in the shade Sugar Cookie. I've actually like only worn this once and I kind of forgot what it even looks like. It's a gloss stick similar to like the Tarte, the e.l.f., but it's more of like a twist up stick. So let's roll that in so I can kind of see what I think about that. And then for the lip gloss category, I definitely want my Lawless Forget the Filler in Cherry Vanilla. This just looks like a really pretty holiday red if I want something more sheer. And I think I want just one more nude gloss, and I'm actually also going to do another one from Lawless. This is the shade Nudie. It's kind of an opaque, like beige nude color. Really pretty. Alright, so these are all the lip options I've pulled out. I think that's a good range of bold, nude, and everything in between. So that will be great. And now for the fun part, palettes. Which palette should we pick, Bee? I think I'm going to have to put Fearless Holiday back in. I know I was just using this a ton and my note pen left behind, but this is just the perfect color story for this time of year, so definitely have to put that back in. Another one of my favorites for the holidays is this one from Ace Beauté. This is their Cala palette. I just love this palette for a really glam, smoky eye, and the shimmers in here are just so shiny. I love them so much. One I really haven't used enough this year is the e.l.f. Love You a Latte quad. Just has 4 really basic everyday matte shades. I was actually realizing that all 4 of the shades in here are pretty much duped in the ColourPop Going Coconuts palette. So just FYI, if you already have Going Coconuts, you probably don't need the e.l.f. But I really liked this e.l.f. quad. I'm gonna put it in my everyday makeup drawer for this rotation and just see if I end up loving it. I may just keep both, but if I kind of feel like, you know, I would be just as happy with the ColourPop Going Coconuts palette, I may decide to declutter this, but let's just give this one more chance. And then I think for some glitz and glitter, I want to add my Unleasha Glitterpedia palette back in. But I mean, for the holidays, what could be more perfect than a palette dedicated to glitter toppers? And then why don't we pull out a few single shadows as well. Alright, so these are most of my singles. I also have a few in this little quad. I don't think I want any of these right now. Then I have this empty magnetic palette that I'll put some into for this rotation. Definitely looking at this little pastel blue. This is from the ColourPop In a Trance palette. It's just a nice little pastel sky blue. This might be nice for some cool toned frosty looks. Also, looking at this one, this is the Cleona shadow in Light Fast, but it's this really fun shifty iridescent shadow. Then why not also grab this matte white? I kind of was re-inspired by matte white eyeshadow by the Singe Paisley Hoot palette, but this is from a BH Cosmetics palette. I think it's from the Lost in Los Angeles. It's just a matte white. Also going to pull in one of my favorite mattes. This is from the BH Cosmetics Summer in Saint Tropez palette, and it's the shade Sand. Mega pan in that one, but it's this nice light beige that has a little bit of a rosy undertone. Let's do another frosty blue shade. This is Depotted from the Shared Planet Polar Bear palette. It's really fun sparkly blue with a little hint of lavender as well. This is fun. Okay, what else, what else? How about this light, since we're going with like light snowy shades. This is a light mint green from Lethal Cosmetics. It's the shade Celestial. Just this very muted mint green. Another one from the Shared Planet Polar Bear is this matte taupe, a more cool toned gray matte. And I think I will actually leave it at that. I don't want to overwhelm myself with too many shadows in here, but just a handful of kind of fun shades that aren't really in the palettes that I picked. All right, and there is a little peek at everything that ended up in this rotation. So with that, let's put some of these products on my face and create a fun holiday look together. All right, so I just laminated my brows with the Patrick Ta Major Brow Lamination Gel. I do actually want to prime with the Glow Recipe Hue Drops today. I've just been using this most days. I honestly feel like this just like really makes my foundation sit so nicely on top. And I love just the little bit of bronzy color that it brings back to my face. Okay, I think I know the general vibe of this look. I want to do a red lip today and kind of like a glittery light eyeshadow look. So because I'm doing a little bit more of a glam look, I'm going to go with my e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation. I have a little breakout here. So I'm thinking this will be my last everyday makeup drawer of the year. And I'm trying to decide what I want to do with this series in the new year. If I want to keep it going or maybe change it up a little bit. So what I'm thinking, and this is where I'm getting kind of stuck, is that next year I want to have like a year-long goal of using every product in my collection at least 10 times. So like a project 10 uses, but for my whole collection. And I'm not sure how to document that in videos, but I'm thinking like the products that I'm currently working on will be in my everyday makeup drawer, but I'm thinking it'll make sense to switch out the products kind of as I complete them. So like, for example, I wouldn't be doing one big everyday makeup drawer reset monthly, but it would be more like once I hit 10 uses on this foundation, I would roll it out and roll something new in. And I would kind of just do that on an ongoing basis rather than having one big everyday makeup drawer reset per month. I would just be kind of switching out products constantly, like as soon as I hit 10 uses on it. So things would just be rotating in and out a little bit more quickly. And so I would just kind of be constantly rotating things in and out rather than doing it all at one time, you know, because I might hit 10 uses on this and then a week later hit 10 uses on another thing. And so I would just be kind of like switching things out as I hit 10 uses. And I'm just thinking with my collection being slightly smaller than it was, you know, a few months ago before I did my big pre-move declutter, I don't know how much sense it makes to keep doing these big monthly everyday makeup drawers. So maybe I could figure out a way to do these videos like every few months. All right, going in as always with my Tarte Shape Tape Ultra Creamy Concealer. I am starting to think I might not be able to finish this year. It is just like not moving. Like I don't see any progress in it. I use it every day and there's still like no windowing, nothing. Also spot concealing a little bit because I have a few breakouts at the moment. For bronzer, let's use the Glossier Cloud Paint in Sail. I have missed this. I don't even remember the last time I used this. So I'll usually just take about that much on the back of my hand and then just pick some up on my finger, dot it on, pick up the rest on my brush. Ooh, yeah, I forgot how beautiful that tone is. This bronzer is so forgiving, like, you don't have to work too fast. It's not gonna like set immediately. You have a little bit of playtime with it. And it's sheer, so it's really easy to blend out. You don't really have to worry about applying too much. Okay, that made me so excited to keep using this. For my blush, since I'm doing a red lip, I think I want to go with a peachy blush. So let's do the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blush in Peach Perfect. Also, it's been so long since I've used this, but I remember loving it. So anyway, I'm not sure what the future of this series will look like, but I think it will be different in 2026. Alright, I'm going to color correct with the NYX Pro Fix Stick in pink and then set my under eyes and entire face with the e.l.f. Halo Glow Loose Powder. And then for my highlighter today, I'm going in with the Flower Beauty Eros' Fable highlighter, which is so gorgeous I almost don't even want to use it. Just a really pretty subtle pearly pink highlight. Priming my eyelids with the Essence Prime Like a Pro eyeshadow primer. This one is nice. It's really interesting. It feels really, like it doesn't really have any coverage. It's more of like a silicone-based eyeshadow primer. You know, some eyeshadow primers are like almost more powdery and have like some coverage to them, but this just has like a different texture. It's interesting. And I'm just going to fill in my eyebrows with my NYX Lip and Snatch brow pen. So as I often like to do when I'm wearing a bold lip, I'm actually going to apply my lip color before eyeshadow. So first, I actually need to sharpen this. This is like the tiniest nub ever. So first going in with my Essence lip pencil in Happy. And next I'm going over that with the Makeup Revolution lipstick in Vibe Red. True to the name, that really is such a vibe. And for my eye look, I think I'm going to do a combination of the single shadows I pulled out along with the Unleasha Glitterpedia. But first I'm setting my eyeshadow primer with the matte cream shade from the e.l.f. Love You a Latte Quad. I've really found that when I have a bold lip color on, I prefer a very soft, light eye to balance it out. I feel like a bold eye and a bold lip can just look a little overwhelming on my face. Okay, so dipping into my singles, I'm gonna grab some of that shade Sand, the one with pan in it. Just gonna start out the look with that shade in the crease. Then on a smaller crease brush, I'm picking up some of the cooler toned Taupe Matte, and I'm targeting that right in the crease, just to add a little bit of dimension. This is a very like low contrast makeup look on the eyes. Yeah, this is about as deep as I want this look to get. Then I think for my inner corner, I'll take some of this Lethal Cosmetics shade Celestial, that really light mint green. Just popping that in the inner corner. Then dipping into the Unleasha Glitterpedia palette, I'm going to go into this top corner shade called Refine, and I'm packing that all over my lid. I'm actually taking that all the way up to the brow bone. This is a really fine, glimmery shimmer, as you can see. So it just kind of, it's just nice to have all over the place, or just a little bit of sparkle. That is so pretty. I think I want to just leave it there. I'm often tempted to just like keep going, keep piling on more shadows, but sometimes I really feel like less is more. As I almost always do, I am popping some of the NYX Epic Wear Liner Stick in Rose Gold just on my lower lash line. This goes well with everything, but like especially this look. It looks so nice. Just for a little extra sparkle. I actually do want like a soft black winged liner. So I'm also gonna dip into my Ace Beauté Cala palette because this has a matte black or like really, really dark charcoal shade. And just gonna pick that up on my Sigma EO6. For my setting spray, I'm going to use my ColourPop Pretty Fresh Lock It In setting spray. This does have a little bit of glow to it, and I do feel like my face could just use a little bit more glow. So now I am just curling my lashes, and then I'll go in with the Makeup Revolution Wrap Lash Tubing Mascara. Okay, I feel so festive with the red lip and the sparkly eye. I am so excited to keep playing with all of these products throughout the next month. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't yet, and hopefully I'll talk to you very soon in my next video. Bye!